Welcome back. I'm glad you've showed up today for another art lesson. My name is Paul Medina. You might know me already. I'm an artist and an art teacher, and we're here virtually to give you something to do, be creative, get your brain thinking. I hope everybody's had a good week. It's been beautifully hot outside. I hope you're getting outside. I hope that you wear this thing when you go outside. That's really important, especially when you go into stores and stuff like that. So anyway, let's talk about a little bit what we need for art supplies. This is real simple. We're going to just use regular paper, like white paper. It can be small, it can be large. A good sharp pencil, some erasers, and maybe some color, like some crayons or colored pencils or oil pastels, or hey, even if you have some like a watercolor or something like that, you could do that as well. But anyway, make sure that you have all that available. And just one more thing, I'd like to mention what we're going to be doing today before we really get into a major discussion about it, is we're going to be talking about respecting yourself and working letters into art. That's the game plan for today. And so let's begin. Okay, before we get into the art, let's talk about something that I know you have heard from adults, parents, teachers for years now, and that's about respect. You know, what does respect mean? I think that a lot of us, we kind of know what that is. We respect somebody, give those people a sense of worth and importance, and treat them like they should be treated, right? But I think a lot of times respect is only talked about other people. You respect other people. But I think one of the most important things, and maybe you already know this, is that respecting yourself. That's a major, major thing. And you may say, Mr. Paul, what are you talking about? How do you respect yourself? Well, we're going to get into that. But right now, let's jump over to the art that we're going to do today. You probably see my poster over here. I hope you can see it. Respect yourself. I've made all of the letters kind of weird and silly. I've made the letters into different things. But you can still kind of read what it is, which is really important. But I think it's really fun to work with letters as art. I think it's interesting. And again, we're going to talk a little bit more about this a little bit later, but it's like letters have been used in art ever since there's been art, right? Like thousands of years, people have been making letters. Now, we use English letters, but in China, they use Chinese lettering, and everybody uses the language that they have. And so this is maybe, you may think this is kind of interesting or kind of weird that we're doing letters in an art project, but I actually love doing letters. And so kind of keep that in mind when we progress into this project. Now, one of the things I'd like to say is, how many of you out there know how to make block letters or bubble letters? And some of you, I'd say when I used to teach in schools, almost all of my students at your age knew how to do it. But there was a few people out there that didn't know how to do it. And listen, it is so simple. I'm going to show you how to do this, and you're going to go, I can't believe I didn't know this already. It's one of the most simple things that you can do. If you know your alphabet and you know how to draw the alphabet, it is so simple. And let me give you just a little bit of an example of that. So my name starts with a P, so I'm going to start out with P, just a regular letter. And once you get your regular letter, all you have to do is outline your letter, even the inside. And then you take an eraser and you just erase the P that you originally drew. It is so simple. I hope you can see that, right? It's so simple. How about S? S is simple. You know how to draw an S? You draw an S. And it's good when you draw these original letters, that you draw lightly so they'll be easier to erase, right? So I've got my S, and if I want to make a bubble letter, instead of squaring off my letters, I just round everything out. Take my eraser. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, now that you kind of know how to make these letters, hey, and as I've always said, I'm not into perfect pictures. Don't worry about things being perfect. Just want you to have fun and get involved in this. And maybe the more you do, the more you practice on these letters, the better you're going to get. In fact, you're going to get to a point where you don't even have to make that original letter. You can just do it all on your own, right? So, that's the first step on these letters. The second letter is, I want you to make each letter into something else. I don't know if you've ever done this, but when I was a kid, I used to hang out and lay out in the yard and look up at the clouds, and you could see different kinds of stuff, like dragons or dogs or puppy, kittens and stuff. You look up and you see these shapes of these clouds, and you can kind of make things out of it. Well, that's kind of what I want you to do with these letters here, is that you start out with an R. If you look at that letter, go, what does that look like? What does that look like? Now, this is an easy one. Here's an S. I made a snake out of it. That's an easy one, right? Or how about the angel with the T? You got the T there, and I made an angel. So what I want you to do is I want you to draw as large as you can on your paper and make sure that you draw horizontally, right? This is horizontal and this is vertical. And I want you to draw this way so you'll have enough stuff, okay? So this is going to be really all about imagination. The art work is all about your imagination. What can you make out of each one of these letters? Now you notice that my E's over here, I didn't make them into anything, but I colored them in. I put designs and things inside of them. And so this is what we're going to try to do today. Now, if you want to do the same thing with yourself, the word yourself, you can do that too. But I didn't, because this is so cluttered and so, complicated up here. I wanted the word yourself down there so you could see it really, really well, right? Respect yourself. Respecting yourself is just this. Sometimes it's hard, and especially if you don't really know what respecting yourself means. I remember a long time ago, a young student of mine, she came to me and she goes, well, what do you mean by respect? I mean, I kind of know what respect means when you're supposed to respect your teacher or your mother or your grandmother, but how do you respect yourself? Well, I've got to say that one of the main things that you can do to respect yourself is to make good decisions about stuff that you do every day. My grandma had a crazy little grandma. She was really, really a neat lady, and she used to say stuff to us all the time, and when we were kids we were going, what is grandma talking about now, you know? But she used to say that nobody's going to take care of you better than yourself, and it's so important that you respect yourself enough to take care of yourself. When you make decisions about doing this or doing that, you need to stop and think, is this good for me, right? Is this going to give me something good in my life? Is it going to give me something good for that day? Or is it going to make me feel dumb or sad? It's something that we need to think about, right? This is kind of an adult issue. But I tell you what, I think that you understand what I'm talking about. When you make decisions, good decisions about yourself and about the things that you do, what you do is you build up your own self-esteem. It makes you feel good about yourself because you're doing the right thing. And that's how you build respect for yourself. And it's something that's ongoing. It's not like one day you do it and you're okay. It's something that you think about every day. And as you get older, you continue to do it, right? And so I just kind of want you to think about that you respect yourself. Well, it's like you respect yourself by eating well, brushing your teeth every day. That's something that you do good for yourself. You know, there are many things that we can do for ourselves that not only protects us, maybe makes us smarter, makes us physically more healthy, right? These are the things that build up a good feeling about yourself when you do the right thing. And so, enough of that for right now. Let's kind of get back to this project. This is one of the most favorite of all of my projects that I do in school. So, you got what I want you to do. I put a little border around it simply because I thought it kind of made it look better, you know, it kind of pulled everything in. And so, if you haven't already started, plan out your letters, right? What I like to do, sometimes if you start too in the inside, you're gonna run out of room, right? It might be this is kind of a trick of the trade. If you want to, you could draw your R on this side and the T on this side, and then you know that you have all of this space to put all of the letters in. I can't tell you how many times I did the same thing when I was your age. I'd make this great letter right here, and then I'd have to put the T down here, and we don't want to do that, right? You've got the space, and you can plan that out so you can get that bunny rabbit right in the center, or that P right there in the center, okay? So, let's do this. I'm going to take a short break, and we will be right back after that. So let's get ready to finish this project if